hit that subscribe button, guys, for the latest in boxing. Although I'm picking Dillian Whyte to defeat Lucas Browne, one thing he said, you know, in the media coverage of this fight, I agree with. And that one thing he said was that Dillian Whyte is the new Dereck Chisora. Right? He is the new Dereck Chisora. And what does he mean by that? Well, when you look at Dereck Chisora was a guy that people thought could have been a champion. He might become a champion. Every time he steps up in class, there's always people, you know, there's always like his fans saying, you know, he just needs to beat this guy, and then he could get a world title shot. But then he ends up losing to this guy. Dereck Chisora was never good enough to become a champion. I know that might offend some people, especially Dereck Chisora fans. I understand that might offend a bunch of Dereck Chisora fans. But the truth hurts. Dereck Chisora was never good enough to become a champion. And that's why he never became a champion at world level. He was able to become a, you know, English level champion, a British level champion, maybe an international level champion, but he was never able to become a world champion, right? The pattern of Dereck Chisora was always, whenever he fought guys that were, you know, over, I guess if we're rating fighters from like A to, like, say, D, Dereck Chisora could beat the D guys, right? He could beat the D guys. He could beat them. But once he started fighting guys, whenever he would start fighting guys, you know, the level C, level B guys, that's when he would always come up short. And the first time this happened was when he fought Tyson Fury, right? When he fought Tyson Fury wasn't the Tyson Fury that he is known as today. You know, today we know him as a real talent, right? You know, but when Dereck Chisora fought him, Tyson Fury was a nobody back then. And Tyson Fury beats him. You know? This day, you know, fast forward, people give him a pass for that. They go, well, he lost. Chisora lost to Tyson Fury, but look at what Tyson Fury did. Tyson Fury went on to become the heavyweight champion of the world, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But what happens to Dereck Chisora? He goes on to fight Robert Helenius. He loses to Robert Helenius. I know. Many people think he won against Robert Helenius. I get it. The point is, Robert Helenius, even if he beat Robert Helenius, what did Robert Helenius ever do in his career? Did he ever become a champion? Did he ever become an elite fighter? No, he didn't. Did he? He lost to Johan Duhaupas, for crying out loud. Robert Helenius never became anything. So even if you felt he defeated Robert Helenius and he got robbed against Robert Helenius, it doesn't really mean anything, because it wasn't like Robert Helenius went on to do great things in his career, did he? Then he fights Vitaly Klitschko, and he loses to Vitaly Klitschko. Once again, he steps up at world level, comes up short. That same year, or was it a year? You know, I think it was the same year. That same year, he fights David Haye. Once again, steps up in world level. Guess what, fellas? Once again, comes up short. So the pattern of Dereck Chisora's career was that he would always do good against D-level guys. Anywhere from D to bottom. But once he stepped up to the C-level guys, the B-level guys, he would always come up short. And of course, he went on to lose to Tyson Fury, you know, get schooled by him. He went on to lose to Dillian Whyte. He went on to lose to even Ajit Cabral. And now, what is he? I think he has like 8 losses in his record. He is a bona fide gatekeeper. Dereck Chisora is a bona fide gatekeeper. And he's never going to become a champion. It's funny that Lucas Browne says that he believes Dillian Whyte is going to become that, basically. It's going to be the new, Dereck Chisora. It's funny he says that because I also believe that. I also believe that Dillian Whyte will become the new Dereck Chisora. And I also believe that Dillian Whyte will never become a champion. A couple of months ago, I made a video, and I titled the video, "The Sad Story of Dillian Whyte." In that video, I claimed that Dillian Whyte will never become a champion. I said he will never become a champion. And I even was saying what was going to happen in his future. I was saying that Dillian Whyte will go on to fight for the next 10 years. He will come up short every time he fights a world level guy, and eventually he will retire, basically being a gatekeeper and never holding a world title. When I see Dillian Whyte, I don't see a guy that has the ability to become a champion. People don't like when I say stuff like that, especially Dillian Whyte fans, but that's just my opinion. There are guys out there that say, how is Deontay Wilder a champion? Look at his skill set. They criticize Deontay Wilder all day. But then if they see that I criticize Dillian Whyte and say that I don't think he would ever become a champion, they get offended. Just like you see Deontay Wilder and you look at the fact and you see his technique and you think that I can't believe he became a champion. I feel the same way about Dillian Whyte. I don't think he has the skill set to become a champion. I don't think he has what it takes to become a champion. I think he's going to come up short his entire career. He's never going to beat Anthony Joshua. I don't care if Anthony Joshua gives him a rematch next year. He's going to lose to Anthony Joshua. He will lose to Anthony Joshua if AJ gives him a rematch. If he fights Deontay Wilder, he will get knocked out by Deontay Wilder. What's going to happen then? Let's say later this year, Deontay Wilder gives him the fight. And let's say Deontay Wilder knocks out Dillian Whyte. Now that's a second loss in his record. Let's say a year down later, Joshua gives Whyte, a rematch. And let's say once again, as predicted, Joshua knocks out Dillian Whyte. Well, now he has 3 losses. And let's say both Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua continue to hold the titles, and years pass. And let's say during this time, Whyte loses again to somebody, who's even lower level than Wilder and Joshua. Well, now he has 4 losses. You see how now he starts becoming a gatekeeper? Again, I'm no prophet, guys, but I've been watching boxing long enough to know if a guy is able to become a champion or if a guy isn't able to become champion. The only way I see Dillian Whyte becoming a champion is if the division was absolutely trash. If somebody had, if Dillian Whyte basically fought for a vacated title. Let's say Deontay Wilder, retired and he vacated his WBC heavyweight title, and then they put him in there, Dillian Whyte with Dominic Brazil. That would be a way I would see Dillian Whyte, becoming a champion if he basically won a vacated title. Like I said, I use that scenario. Let's say Wilder retired, his WBC title went vacant. Dominic Brazil and Dillian Whyte fight for that. I think Dominic Brazil is a worse fighter than Dillian Whyte, and I think he'll lose to Dillian Whyte. That would be a way. Or vice versa. Like say Joshua, retires or vacates his belts, and then they have Dillian Whyte fight for a vacant title. But I don't think Dillian Whyte could ever beat the champion, the champions right now, the current champions, to become a champion. I don't think he could beat AJ, Wilder, or Parker. I think all 3 of those guys defeat Dillian Whyte. And I think he will become the new Dereck Chisora. When I see Dillian Whyte, I see Dereck Chisora 2.0. I think he has a little bit better uppercuts. But other than that, I don't think every division has that one fighter that he's good, but he's just not good enough to become the champion of that division. You know, I could tell you several fighters in each division. Lucas Matisse. You guys remember Lucas Matisse? Lucas Matisse was always a big puncher. He was always knocking guys out. But Lucas Matisse never became a champion. When he was fighting at 140, every time he fought the top guy in the division, he would lose to them. He would come up short, right? When he fought Danny Garcia, he got schooled by Danny Garcia. Right? He got outboxed. When he fought Victor Posto, he got schooled by Victor Posto. He got outboxed. So he would always come up short, although he was an exciting fighter. You know, James Kirkland, he was always an aggressive, exciting fighter, knocking guys out, very aggressive, very fun type of style to watch. But he never became a champion. He just didn't have what it took. You know, he would get knocked out. You know, he just didn't have also the best chin. That's another thing. You get what I'm saying? And that's how I feel with Dillian Whyte. Kind of like Dominic Brazil. I also don't think Dominic Brazil will ever become a champion. I don't think Dillian Whyte will ever become a champion. And, you know, time will tell. I'm not hating. I'm just letting you know my opinion. And don't be surprised if what I'm saying in this video comes true. You might be coming back to this video 5 years from now saying, oh, shit, McGregor got this, you know, completely correct. Dillian Whyte never became a champion. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. I'm out. Thanks for watching.